It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, 15th July 2025. Welcome once again to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Emeka Daniel is my name. This is what we do every day, bringing you the best of news and information, and of course, insightful analysis and powerful conversations that shape our nation. If it matters, you get to hear it from us, and we say it as it is right here on Western Spring Television. Also, today is a public holiday. The federal government has declared today public holiday to mourn our late former President, General Muhammadu Buhari, who will be laid to rest later today. His remains is expected to arrive Nigeria around noon, and of course, interment will take place around 2 p.m. today. May so rest in peace. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. And I'm never alone on the show. I have Femi with me. Good morning, Femi.
Yeah, good morning. Morning, Daniel.
Yeah, trust you had a great night.
Yes, I did. And we thank God for life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. It feels good to be back here for the second installment of Morning Spring here on Western Spring Television, channel 190 on StarTimes DTT, and also on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. This is where you need to be, and that's why we are here. We are very grateful that you have made us a part of your morning routine. We look at the headlines from major dailies every day, and of course, we talk, about issues, burning issues, profiling answers to identified challenges, in our nation. In as much as about public good, this is where the conversation around that happens. Thank you for joining us as well. So much you talked about the president, former president, in whose honor a public holiday has been declared for today. And many persons are waiting the remains of the man. And of course, Daura will be a place of visit right now. Many persons want to, pay their last respect.
Absolutely.
Kashim Shettima, the VP,
Even Mr. President will be there.
No, I mean, those have been in London around the body back home. And we saw clips of where they went to greet the family. Aisha Buhari, the daughters, that's the wife, and of course, the children, sobbing, in that particular picture. And then Buhari's uncle, Mama Daura, was visited as well, and they, they relayed the message of the president and the nation to the man, and of course, he thanked everybody as well. And I remember hearing Mama Daura say, yes, he will be buried in his home, yeah, but the, the prayers and all of those things should be in the open. That was the instruction from the family. Well, that will be the end of every man at some point in different ways at different times.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, we'll be expecting, several African leaders as well to grace the occasion. But more striking for me is the fact that also former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who was also hospitalized in London, said he was actually in the same hospital with Buhari, but he didn't even know at that point. So he got discharged. He later got to hear the news that Buhari passed in the same place. The question is, how come we are having two Nigerian leaders being hospitalized in London, in the UK, when you've been president for 8 years, and you go to, pass away to die in a UK hospital, where we also had another Nigerian head of state in the same hospital? It speaks volume. It says a lot about us as a people.
Yeah.
How do you expect a nation like that to respect us? How do you expect them to take us seriously? When our own leaders cannot fix their nation, do not have good hospitals where they can be treated. But we don't look at it. How come we are not looking at it from this angle? We are not looking at it from this angle. When our leaders cannot be treated here in Nigeria, we are having two former leaders being hospitalized in the same hospital. I think it's a shame. It's a testament to the failure of our past leaders. It is what it is. Yesterday, when people die, we have to show respect. Yes, we did that yesterday. But again, we have to say the truth. It's not looking good at all. It's quite a shame that our leaders cannot fix our institutions in the country. Having two former head of states being hospitalized in the same hospital in another nation, I'm not looking good at all. I'm talking about leaders as well. The oldest leader, the oldest head of state in Africa, Paul Biya of Cameroon, at 92, is seeking re-election. At 92, Femi, this man has been president before I was born. He has been president before I was born, and he's 92 now, and he's seeking another 7 years in office. What's going on? Whatever happened to all the young men in Cameroon?
I don't know how to. You said he has been president before you were born.
Absolutely.
That's a statement of fact. Even far more before that. And you could see them that the man is already frail. Actually, same thing happened to Mugabe. Same thing with Museveni and all of these guys. And I don't know what power does to people. You know what they say, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is it not a shame on... It is, actually, because there is no way you want to say it like a Paul Biya and in his 90s seeking re-election to do what exactly? I think he just wants to die there. Absolutely. I think there are so many things that has happened that Paul Biya feels maybe it's only death that can cover whatever has happened. I think that's the only explanation, because, you know, if you are out and someone else comes in, even if it's somebody from your party, there might be issues.
Yeah,
so you'd rather die there. I think that's the only thing.
Wow, quite interesting. That's Africa for you. How did he manage?
That's Museveni in Uganda, who could barely stand again. You know, many of them like that. Seeking re-election all over the place. In their 80s, in their 90s, not as, you know, somebody coming for the first time. You know, some of them have you know, amended their constitution to suit their ambition severally.
That's what Paul Biya did. I mean, just to allow him to run, you know,
even Paul Kagame,
over and over again.
Yeah, Paul Kagame came as a savior, as a military dictator, to flush out, you know, some of those enemies of the country and all of those things after the Rwanda genocide, and he came in, and now he has put off the khaki. He's a president, but the way he rules. And they keep running over and in as much you have the nationals. You know, the parliament in every nation is I think for me is the backbone of any democracy.
Absolutely.
The moment you can capture the parliament, that means the law is at your beck and call. They can amend, they can review, they can do whatever to suit their purpose. And that's why the parliament is very important. If they have the steel to say no, then that means it's no.
Absolutely.
And the whole world will see it, even if you are forcing yourself. But the moment they can just call 1 or 2 or 3 high-ranking presidents and they get the things amended, even if it's not moral, the moment it's a law, it's a law.
Absolutely. But what else is someone like that looking for? If Paul Biya has been president for 43 years and he's 92 already, what else is he looking for? People don't get tired of power. I think that's just the case. Well, we do wish him, should we wish him best of luck in his quest? Of course. Like you said, he most likely wants to die in office. That's
just the explanation, you know, so that when he's dead, whatever you want to do, whatever inquest, whatever inquiry you want to do, you won't be there to face it again. They don't think about their name. They don't think about the generation. What will you be known for? Apart from longevity and staying perpetually in power. You just take Nelson Mandela that have died, you know, years ago, and then he even left when he's supposed to leave. In Nelson Mandela
spent a single term.
Yeah, and what are we talking about now? Paul Biya.
Paul Biya of Cameroon.
What would they be known for? That's just the thing. Mugabe had to be pursued. He went on exile.
He was very old.
Such an age, very old. They began to fall. You know, they begin to fall rather. They want to climb the stairs of planes and they are falling. You know, they can't even stand for long and you are there. You mean in your reign, your leadership has not been successful to groom people. 43 years after.
Even your children are old enough to become president.
Even a baby zero. That means when you got there, a baby that was born 43 years after, he doesn't have the sense to rule in Cameroon that you have been a leader of. Wow. Is as that.
And again, for Nigeria, I think our leaders should be more objective. Our leaders should be more realistic. Because, like I said, it's quite...
you talked about the issue of two former leaders being housed.
In the same
being
hospital.
taken care of at a hospital in London. And one was a military leader you know. The other one too was a military leader at some point. Then he became a president. He had almost 10 years of stint, you know, as a leader in Nigeria, and yet he died in a foreign hospital. And that, you know, when such a person would not be described as being patriotic, being nationalistic.
Where is the patriotism? Let's speak to facts. Where is the patriotism? If you cannot fix your own institutions in your country, it's quite embarrassing. You don't trust the institutions, even in your hometown, even in Abuja, even in Kaduna, that was his second home, you know, enough. You know, the governor of Kaduna State will be telling the people now that, you know, the health facility in the state is superb. Yes. That's Buhari's second home is Kaduna. Now, let's talk about Katsina. I'm sure Diko Rada will say all things are going well. Yet, your leader couldn't use that. I'm not sure if Diko Rada is sick. He will prefer to be treated in a hospital in Kaduna. Will Basani use the medical facility in Kaduna? Even during, have you forgotten that? I think we are moving too fast. Under the same Buhari, he took his wife, Aisha, the widow now, to cry out and say there is nothing at the Aso Rock Clinic. Yeah, absolutely. I remember.
You know, we usually forget things. There was the first lady who said nothing is there. And this is Aso Rock Clinic that has been budgeted for every year.
And we are not ashamed of ourselves?
Even Aisha, I'm sorry to say this.
So how do you expect?
Sound insensitive.
No, that's true.
No, apart from that, even the same Aisha Bori at some point left the husband in Nigeria and went to Dubai to stay for more than a year. Yeah. So when the issue of the power, tussle, the cartel, the cabal, all of those things was happening.
Yeah, there was a rift.
Yeah. He left the husband in Nigeria, in Abuja, and then the first lady was living in Dubai. But then,
so how do we expect a nation like the UK to respect us or take us seriously?
Even Ghana.
How?
We are talking about the UK. How about Ghana? Because we are
when your leaders are being hospitalized in their country,
I'm sure the Ghanaians will be saying, brother, Charlie, your president died in London, and you are the big brother in Africa. It's all right.
We should do better as a nation.
We should do better, and we should show it. You know, around here, as we round off, they will say, now who get eyes? Eyes they push. Do the matter yourself. Obviously, some people don't get shame.
Absolutely.
Our leaders, they are shameless. It's as good as that. And let's just say the way it is. Housing in a hospital in the UK, at some point, housing 2 former leaders at some point, and they are from Nigeria. It's all right. Let's go on a quick break with Baba.
Nigeria still has some breathtaking natural areas and national parks. These forests and wild places help maintain healthy ecosystems, clean rivers, rainfall, and even the oxygen we breathe. But if we allow our wildlife to be poached and our forests to be cut,
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as they break with facts and clarity? Our news are reported as it is.
In Africa,
Thank you for staying with us, and we take a look at various headlines from our major dailies for today. Let's see what the Nation has for us. The Nation newspaper. Tinubu, African leaders for Daura to attend Buhari's burial. Tinubu, African leaders for Daura to attend Buhari's burial. And a rider to that says Body arrives Casino at noon for 2 p.m. funeral. Body arrives Casino at noon for 2 p.m. funeral. And of course, the picture at the beach after that, you can see the widow, Aisha Buhari, and of course the children sobbing there in a very, sober mood. And you can see the VP, Kashim Shettima, seating and offering prayers. That is it. Now, you have stories and inside full military honors for ex-president, governors, ministers, traditional rulers to attend. APC short secretariat. Nigerians observe public holiday. We were admitted into same hospital, says General Abdul Salami. Akufo-Addo, Jonathan visits family in London. All right, one thing stands out for me here is the full military honors for ex-president. He was a general.
Absolutely.
He deserves that. He wasn't also a general in rank. He ruled as a general.
Yeah. Well decorated general. Was also Abubakar's senior in the army.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Away from that, bottom strip, you could see the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, forthright, former Ogun State Governor. Many of them, Olusegun Oshoba there at the funeral of Oba Awujale of Ijebuland, the late Oba Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono in Ijebu. All right. And away from that, bottom strip, hit the ground running. Ayedatiwa urges new Ondo State ESCO members. Hit the ground running. Ayedatiwa urges Ondo State ESCO members. And away from that, governors Oshimbajo, Dangote, Honor, Awujale could see the remains of the KBC there. And plot to unseat Oshun Governor Adeleke knocks Aregbesola. Plot to unseat Oshun Governor Adeleke knocks Aregbesola. We'll look into that in the course of the program today. Wadada Ume Fadamsi, 7 other senators set to change parties. Wadada Ume Fadamsi, 7 other senators to change parties, and Nigerians are waiting. That'll be all from the Nation for today.
And from the Nation, we move to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. All set for Buhari's burial. Tinubu to receive body in Katsina. All set for Buhari's burial. Tinubu to receive body in Katsina with riders. Body to arrive by noon. Interment set for 2 p.m. today. FG declares public holiday. Condolence registers to be opened in MDAs, ICC, Nigerian embassies, missions abroad. Then we have National Assembly suspends legislative activities for 1 week. You'll find all that on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Still talking about the funeral of Nigeria's former president, General Muhammadu Buhari, who will be laid to rest today in his hometown in Katsina. And of course, we are expecting several dignitaries, including African leaders, to grace that occasion right there. Away from that, Awujale, Ijebu-Ode stands still as Oba Detono is buried. Ijebu-Ode stands still as Oba Detono is buried. With the rider, Abiodun, Sanwo-Olu, Oshoba, Daniel, Dangote, others in attendance. Quite a lot of dignitaries right there, just to honor the late monarch, Oba Detono rather, the Awujale of Ijebuland. Away from that, on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The Patriots shift Constitutional Summit to Wednesday to honor Buhari. Awujale. The Patriots shifts Constitutional Summit to Wednesday to honor Buhari. Awujale. You find our story on page 5. And below that, Adeleke to Aregbesola. Osun people have not forgotten your records as governor. Osun people have not forgotten your records as governor. I think we can say the polity has become heated in Osun State. Now, for the first time, the sitting governor, Governor Demola Adeleke, has spoken up, criticizing his predecessor, Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola, saying, your 8 years in office were actually the worst. That's according to him. Quite a lot of things, unpaid salaries, half salaries, unpaid pensions, and all that. We'll be looking more into that in the course of the program this morning. Talking about politics in Osun State, now we have Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola, who is the secretary of the new political party, or the newly adopted political party by the coalition, that's the ADC. And of course, in an homecoming, that should be on Sunday, he was received by a mammoth crowd, and he made some remarks saying he is poised to remove the governor. And of course, you do not expect the governor to keep quiet. So he has also responded. So let's just say the show has just begun. May the best man win. That'll be all from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, from the Tribune, next up is the Nation newspaper. The Nation, Tinubu. Okay, I think I took that earlier. Let's look at the Daily Trust. Daily Trust for today. Daura set for Buhari's burial as Nigeria mourns. Okay, Nigeria as a country, right? But the thing is, are Nigerians really money? That's a question. Nigerians, not Nigeria as a state now. Nigerians, are they really money?
These are two different things. Nigeria is mourning. Are Nigerians mourning? That's another question.
All right. Well, below that, residents flee as bandits attack Niger communities. Kill 6, abduct over 20. Sad news there. Residents flee as bandits attack Niger communities. Killed 6, abduct over 20. You can see residents of Yabo, Mabuya, Nagada, in Mariga local government of Niger State, fleeing their homes on Monday following bandit attacks. You can see, people with their loads getting out of the place, after being ferried by wooden canoes. It's as bad as that. And, many persons might want to call the NSA and say, yes, sir, what's going on here? You said everybody is safe, we can move around at any time. But the people of Meriga local government now in Niger State are saying, hello, we are getting out of our home. So where does that leave? Where does that leave what the
NSA said?
The NSA said last.
Well, the NSA will probably say, well, it's nothing, it's nothing.
Maybe pockets of incidents.
It's nothing.
Yeah. After all, who are they? These ones. Look at them. Well, now, how Lagos LG poll was won and lost. How Lagos LG poll was won and lost. 4 killed, many injured in Kano building collapse. And succession move begins after Awujale's burial. Succession move begins after Awujale's burial. His, life goes on. Many persons will already be scheming right now. The Omobas, the princes, which of the lineage is next in line, because everything will not be as clear as what happens in Ibadan. Ibadan is succession. You already know there is a line.
Yeah.
One dies, the other moves. The one dies, the other moves. So there might not be too much confusion. But as for other
for this
thrones and stool, you
have to consult their oracle and whatever the oracle says.
The oracle have to be consulted, and then the human oracles have to be consulted as well. And I think that's it.
I hope they do not manipulate the oracle sometimes.
Well, schemings and manipulations have always been part of it. When you check epic films, purported to have been made back then, it's as always as that. I remember when the king in Abeokuta, the throne was being, everybody is having a go at it. There was vacancy at the time when the late king, passed on to his ancestors. And the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, told the Afobajis, the kingmakers, and said, this is your time to make money, to be rich. It's okay. do whatever you have to. If people bring gifts for you, collect to, but do what is right. You know why? Because they are Afobajers themselves. They don't get to choose kings every day.
Absolutely.
They are, some of them will not, in the next 30 years, there might not be any reason. So if a Kabiyesi has passed to join his ancestors and there is space to elect another one, then the Afobajers time, as when you are saying, God, give me breakthrough, it's breakthrough time for the Afobajers, and people will come to them. And what President Obasanjo told them is, take whatever they bring, but make sure
the right thing.
you do the right thing. You know, that is different from gift and bribe. It's a thin line. Know when it is bribe. Bribe is when you tell somebody, bring something, I will influence something unduly. That's what it is. But then, it is what it is in Ijebu Ode, and we wish them all the best in their quest to have a new Awuchale, even as the soul of the late king travels to join his ancestors.
Perhaps one day, Femi, perhaps one day the oracle from your place might just pick you to become the next king.
No, that oracle will be misguided.
Why? Why you say
I'm
so?
not from the lineage of kings.
It doesn't matter. Anything can
It does matter. From where, I don't know where you come from. Where I come from, it does matter. Yeah. No, I'm not from a royal lineage. So if any oracle will come and say it's Femi Ojo, they better test that oracle very well. And that means something has changed hands. You know, I'd rather go for something else. Let tradition be maintained. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Let's not talk about my own for now. Okay. We move to the front page of This Day newspaper this morning. On the front page of This Day newspaper, Tinubu leads delegation to burial of Buhari to receive remains at Katsina Airport today. Tinubu leads delegation to burial of Buhari to receive remains at Katsina Airport today, with riders constitute State Burial Committee, orders 25 FEC members to Daura. Ex-President corpses movement delayed by documentation. That's another one. That's a new development. The movement delayed by documentation. We just hope it does not affect the schedule for the burial. And another rider right there, FG reschedules FEC session to honor late leader, declares today public holiday. Jonathan Akufo-Addo visits Vice President in London, pay tribute to Buhari. So talking about the death of Nigeria's former President, General Muhammadu Buhari. He has a cult-like followership. He has very staunch followers, those who are very loyal to him. And also, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, spoke about him. He said he has known him since around 1962, that Buhari is one man you can trust your life with. That's the way he sees him, that he's very, he has integrity, that if he tells you he will do something, he does it. So for those who know him, he has that kind of, cult-like followership, loyalty from his followers. And again, may his soul rest in peace. Away from that, Mamandaura family members, how former president spent his last hours. Mamandaura family members, how former president spent his last hours. And of course, yesterday we talked about it on the show, where he also, purportedly asked his wife, Aisha Buhari, to apologize to the people for his mistakes. As a human being, no matter how good you are, you will still offend some people. So most times when some people are passing, they try to, tender apologies and say, if I've offended anyone, please find a place in your heart to forgive me. And I think that was what he actually did right there. Moving to the top strip of This Day newspaper. Awujale buried amid tight security as traditionally storm burial venue midway. Quite interesting. Awujale buried amid tight security as traditionally storm burial venue midway. What exactly were they trying to do? With the rider, Ijebu-Ode Council closed major markets, and another one, George, Bakari, others mourn. So we understand that the burial ceremony of the Awujale, it was of course a Muslim burial. Then some traditionalists actually came. They also wanted to lay claims to saying that, no, it belongs to us as well. But there was tight security just to, avoid any form of, fracas, misunderstanding, altercations right there. Away from that, So on the front page of this day newspaper, right there, the insert, you can see the picture of Shatima's condolence visits to Maman Daura in London. Still talking about the death of late presidents. And that'll be all from the front page of this day newspaper this morning.
Right, from this day newspaper, let's look at the ones that we have with us now. Punch is next. The Punch for today, and it has these big bold headlines still about Muhammadu Buhari's burial. Daura Kingsmen associate to reflect on Buhari's final months, and there are statements related to passings there. This one, the first one says, state burial begins in Abuja today. Interment to follow in Katsina, and I was hospitalized in the same London facility as Buhari. Jonathan visits Aisha in London as Amusun, Lawan, others arrived Daura. And don't forget, Amusun, was quite a close person to Muhammadu Buhari. They were of the same CPC. That's Bikunle Amusun, former Ogun State Governor. Now, Tinubu appoints Akume Ribadu, others to burial committee. And federal government delegation visit Aisha Mamandaura Abdul Salami in London. You can see the various pictures there. And one that stands out for me is this, the picture of the family members sobbing. And on that chair, you could see, I think that's the widow of the late Oyo State Governor Ajimabi there, in the same place, and condoling the families, it seems so, yeah. Now, away from that, 2027, Adeleke attacks Aregbesola over plan to oust the governor. Adeleke attacks Aregbesola over plan to oust the governor, and urban workers begin strike over 82 billion naira pension arrears. 82 billion naira pension arrears, and naira rebounds to 4-month high, trades 1,518 naira a dollar. Naira rebounds to 4-month high, trade per dollar. Right, so it means with a dollar, you can exchange it for the naira 1,518. So
I guess we should be celebrating, right?
$10, that's more like 15,000 naira, at least more than 15,000 naira. $100. Then that means you multiply by
over 150. And you're talking about the official rates, not black market.
Well, the government have said they have collapsed the whole thing. No, there's no parallel market thing, official market thing. Okay. But then people who deals with that knows where they get it from. Now, soldiers bar traditionalists from Awujale's Muslim funeral. And writers that say Oshimba Ajo governors of Shoba Daniel Dangote grace Awujale's burial. And Funshegbua House post for throne as Ijebu waits to new Awujale. Sometimes such a thing happens when the traditional, worshippers too wants to be a part of the procession, because most kings in the Yoruba land, they are. In fact, all the kings are supposed to be...
They're traditionalists.
Yeah, they are supposed to be the custodian of history and tradition. So traditionalists will want to say, let's be a part of this. We must be recognized. It's a religion. It's part of culture as well.
Absolutely.
But then possibly there are, miscommunication or whatever to say, Kabisi belongs to us because you'll need less, if you know what I'm talking about. We want to be, recognized as well. But then soldiers barred them, according to this news story.
And notably as well, Dangote too was there, and quite important. We need to note that Dangote has actually submitted a proposal to actually build... No, not to the Abuja, to Ogun State, to build the largest deep sea port in Ogun State. Right. So when I saw that picture, so it didn't come as a surprise to me. So I know he's planning some huge business.
And who knows, maybe he might have a traditional chieftaincy title. Influential people have different traditional titles from all over the place, even from military leaders. And so possibly playing his role as somebody who belongs, like former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, holds a very high honorary title in Ijesha land. So when the Kabiyesi passed and during the coronation, he was there. The wife is from there, so he's an in-law to the Ijesha people. And he wore the traditional title cap to pay his homage and play his part. So, you know, these are some of the things that happens. Now, away from that, Natasha fires back, asked Akpabio over reinstatement challenge. This is one drama that Nigerians want to not be a part of at all. It's just possibly episode after episode, you know, and that will be all from that one.
And I guess that will be all from the front pages of the newspapers this morning.
Right.
Again, today is a public holiday. We are Nigerians, and I say we are Nigerians, are mourning the passing of our late president, General Muhammadu Buhari, who will be laid to rest later today. Once again, may his soul rest in peace. And for those of us who are still alive, leaders of Nigeria, we should do better. I said it earlier on the show. It was quite embarrassing, and it's still quite embarrassing that our former leaders have been hospitalized in London, in another nation, in the UK. Whatever happened to all the hospitals in Nigeria? I think we should look inwards and do better as a people. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll dive into other conversations. Please stay with us.